Respect. You know, I had a conversation with God the other day, and my guardian angels, my ancestors that's watching over me, I'm truly appreciative of the time. I'm truly appreciative of that time. Only if you knew. You know, be careful what you pray for, they say, right? The power of prayer, and especially who you are, your prayer is very powerful, only if you knew. And this is not for all, and that's okay. But getting in tune with yourself in a healthy way, when you find peace within yourself, the energy hits differently. That conversation with God, yeah, you know those conversations you was having with God, when you had all those distractions, continue to value those conversations. But when you get to peace with yourself, value those times even more harder. Remember when you had your struggling days, when you didn't know if he was coming or going, down to, wow, I'm at peace with myself. I still gotta pray for myself. I still gotta pray the same format that I allowed myself to develop when I first acknowledged myself in a healthy way. When I knew at the end of the day, listen, I ain't gonna allow trauma to overbear me anymore. I ain't gonna allow trauma to allow me to feel less of a person. I'm not gonna allow trauma to suck me out of my life. I'm not gonna allow trauma to suck me out of my freedom. I'm not gonna allow trauma to suck me out of my love for myself. Because I wanna love myself in a healthy way one day. Damn, only if that day came any faster. Allowing me to see like, yeah, I could do it with patience. I could do it with the right people around me. I could even do it by myself. Wow, that was a blessing in disguise. Wow. They say dealing with trauma, you gotta see a psychologist. You hear that doctor that wanna dose you up? You hear that doctor that's saying this gonna make you feel better? You hear that doctor that just try to poison you? Allow you to psych out your own thought process? Why you gotta allow your dosages to continue to go up? Because the doses that you was getting before, they ain't working for you no more? Damn. A little power of a prayer. Yeah, that shit takes patience. But be kind to yourself. Acknowledge yourself in a healthy way. Like, hey, I could show up for myself one day. Only to understand being patient with yourself was a blessing in disguise. To allow you to see, you know what? This is all I needed to do from the beginning, was be patient with myself. Never allow someone to psych out of your thought process because they're miserable. Never allow someone to psych out of your thought process because they're miserable. Never allow someone to psych out of your freedom because they're miserable. Never allow someone to psych out of your freedom because they're miserable. Never allow someone to psych out of your thought process because you genuinely love yourself in a healthy way. Because they're miserable. Loving yourself is not a crime. Never allow someone to psych out of your thought process because you genuinely, authentically love yourself and you respect others around you, all because they're miserable. Be patient with yourself. Be kind with yourself. What's understood don't need to be explained. I said what I said when I said what I said. Have a good day. Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. You know, being patient with yourself sometimes gets discouraging, especially when you deal with trauma, or you deal with anxiety, or you deal with abandonment issues, or you deal with trust issues, or you just deal with life itself, and you're just trying to get accustomed to how to deal with the balance within the tools that were installed within you, you know, to say, you know what? I have to show up for myself in a healthy way. I'm tired of wearing this mask. I'm tired of not being healthy within. I'm tired of fronting like this is okay. I'm tired. I don't even want to be here sometimes. But I'm tired of feeling like that. How do I override these feelings? How do I override these thoughts? How do I override? How do I fight for my life? Why does somebody's narrative of how they feel about me at the end of the day have to be what it is? I have control over my life. Why should a prescription describe me? Why should that pill be a label to me? Why do I have to rely on that pill to make me feel better inside? To make me feel sick inside? To allow me sometimes not to feel worthy of myself? To allow me to feel like I need to get fat? I'm overeating. This is what this pill is doing to me. I'm not able to show up for myself in a healthy way. This pill is allowing me to psych myself out of my own thought process. This is what this pill is making me feel. I don't want to feel like this. Now I'm labeled. All because why? Depression, anxiety, trauma. Disrespect. Hope. From hopeless to having hope. That energy hit different. Never allow someone to psych you out of your thought process because your life matters. Never allow someone to psych you out of your thought process because your life matters. Your life matters. You know, when dealing with your healing process, everybody's different. But regardless of if everybody's different, it will never be an overnight process when you deal with healing. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. It's a process within your process of allowing yourself to show up in a healthy way. To acknowledge like, hey, I respect myself, to have awareness as to I want change in a healthy way. I want to outgrow those moments where I did not understand myself. I want to understand those moments where, yeah, I had abandonment issues. Why that person didn't show up for me. I want to address all of that. But how do I address it? Without being labeled. Without being saying, you know what? Ma'am, sir, this prescription is for you. Have a nice day. I'm human. Aren't you human, ma'am, sir? Would you want somebody to do that to you, ma'am, sir? No. So how do we change this, sir? Ma'am? You know, dealing with abandonment issues as a child, excuse me, you know, and you become an adult, would you want somebody to give you a prescription pill to tell you this is how you're supposed to cope with your problems? You can't get sleep at night. You're having nightmares. You can't eat. You don't know if you're coming or going. And being that you don't know if you're coming or going, you gotta rely on this pill. You went from one dosage to another dosage to another dosage to another dosage. And all these doses made you feel the same. Unworthy of yourself. Everybody's body's different. And everybody's situation is different. But why should a prescription be to your name? As to, this is supposed to make you feel better. And this is something that you have to rely on. To allow you to feel better. To allow you to show up as your best self vision of yourself. This is what you have to rely on. When is this tearing your body? You know, when you have to rely on a pill, you know, as time progresses, you know, you start to have medical problems, not understanding why you're having these medical problems because of a pill that you took. Yeah, a prescription that was prescribed to you with your name on it. It said, you know what, this is going to make you happy today. And all it made you do from your depression, it allowed you to feel unworthy of yourself. It allowed you not to feel like you could get out the bed. It allows you to feel like, wow, I have to rely on a pill for the rest of my life. Now, some days I feel like I'm psyching myself out of my own thought process because I'm taking these pills. Because as time is progressing, the emotions behind the pills is feeling different. It's not the same anymore. You know how it feels to not be able to eat because you have to rely on a pill? In order for you to have a decent day, for you to have to rely on a pill, and then you have to take more than what you're supposed to because it's the relying on the pill. It's not allowing you to digest it the same way how you used to take it, so you need more. Or it's making you sick even more. You're starting to get headaches. Starting to be dizzy. Shortness of breath. Because now you're relying on a prescription to allow you to feel good. That's what they said. This will make you feel better. Everybody's body's not the same. Respectfully. Just because it may work for you, it may not work for the next person. Immune system. You know, dealing with trauma and enduring it at a young age, you was never given a handbook as to how you were supposed to handle life obstacles. Besides, be a kid, go to school, listen to adults, and be respectful and do whatever chores you needed to do. And that's it. But nobody took the time out to actually speak to you how you thought they were supposed to speak to you, or how things were supposed to be addressed, or how certain situations are supposed to be handled, you know, especially when someone doesn't have the proper guidance, no disrespect, as to how they're supposed to talk to you, as to how I'm supposed to be more nurturing to you, because this done transpired in your life, and, you know, you're not alone, and just because this done transpired, within transpiring, at the end of the day, you're supposed to check for that child. Even if you feel like that child done, you think the child's mentally okay. Like, a child could put a smile on their face any given time of the day because that's a child. But to mentally see that child's going to hide it because that child don't want you to worry. You know, it's all different types of children that hide. They hide their emotions. And especially if how it was dished out to them, when it comes to abandonment issues, they hide it. A child's going to hide it. A child's not going to show you that, you know what, my biological father walked out of my life and I'm not supposed to have feelings. Like, I said that this is what y'all trying to say. Like, I'm not supposed to have no feelings behind this. I'm supposed to just live my life and nothing act like nothing happened. You know, what happened to somebody reaching out to that child, checking on that child, regardless if the parent, the other parent is present or not. That parent is still dealing with they're dealing with their own mental issues, you know, and sometimes that child that gets overlooked, it happens. That child that gets overlooked because now it's another person's child, other children in the home where that child is not that child's parent, so it's that child doesn't feel like they're fitting in now, if that makes any sense, because it happens after dealing with their own trauma and it's not being addressed. You know how that a person would not genuinely know how that feel if they haven't experienced it. It's different when you experience abandonment issues, and everybody walks of life is different. You know, so now being that child parent done left out of their life, so now you're saying that child needs a prescription pill because their feelings are hurt, because they feel like they're alone, and they feel like they can't just pick up a phone and reach out to their biological father and say, you know what, do you love me today? Like, why did you leave? Why did you feel like I wasn't less of a person? You know? Now you got to rely on a prescription pill because somebody decided to be an adult and not be a parent, but be an adult. But they didn't want to be a parent. Or if they didn't want to be a parent, You know, there's a lot of other things behind it. Some people don't have that parent. But even still, why should a prescription be labeled to that child? Why? Because their feelings was hurt? Like, make it make sense. So now they became adult, that they're still dealing with that childhood trauma, and you still telling that adult child at heart that they still need that pain prescription pill. Wow. You see how that worked? You labeled it as a prescription pill because somebody broke your heart when you didn't even understand the definition of what a broken heart was supposed to feel like. How selfish is that? That's selfish, right? I know that's selfish. To me, I feel like that's very selfish. You mean to tell me somebody broke my heart, right? And now I gotta take a prescription pill for the rest of my life because somebody broke my heart as a child? Are you fucking dumb? No! Are you serious? See how they try to psych you out of your thought process? Wow. All because someone broke your heart. Because at the end of the day, however way you want to put it, somebody broke your heart. They did. When that person left, they broke your heart. That's the emotion behind it, regardless if you're a female or a male. If you had a family member who walked out of your life at a young age and you couldn't understand it, and as you become an adult and you still got that same broken heart at the end of the day, that was a broken heart. But you should never be labeled as a prescription pill because of that broken heart, regardless to how old you are, respectfully. It's coming to terms as to when you do become that adult, to get that proper help that you need, to face your music on your timing, because your healing process is on your timing. It's never nobody's timing but your timing, because facing your own music is real. Respectfully, facing your own music is real. But you came this far. You came this far. You so brave. You so brave. You came this far without a guardian, without the support, or even if you had that one family member that supported you, good days, bad days, misunderstanding days, was rooting for you the whole entire time. You had that. Not everybody has that. But most of all, you was rooting for yourself, because you allowed yourself to be a believer, regardless to what obstacles you just overcame at the end of the day. You made yourself a believer, respectfully. But you just want to heal peacefully now. You overcame all these obstacles within your life in a healthy way. You had your misunderstanding days. Who said you wasn't supposed to? Who said you wasn't entitled to that? Because you are. You're still entitled, regardless to how old you are, to make mistakes. Regardless to how old you are. As long as you don't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards an innocent person at the end of the day, you're good. But that's the point of life. That's what growth, that's what change, that's what genuine understanding comes at the end of the day. You outgrow old behavior. You elevate every day. You learn something new every day. And you be patient with yourself. Never allow someone to psych you out of your thought process because they're miserable. Never allow someone to psych you out of your thought process because they feel like, you know what? This is how you're supposed to live your life. It's different when somebody motivates you than somebody telling you what to do. It's two different things. It's two different things. Two different things. It's two different things. But you're brave. You're so strong. Your healing process will always be forever because you're allowing your best self vision to show up. You may have your days where you don't understand yourself, where you're in that room by yourself and you just start to cry. But that's turned them trauma tears of pain into happy, genuine tears of peace. Of, you know what? Yeah, I could cry. But when I'm crying, I'm looking back what I overcame. I'm crying. I made it to see another day for myself because I allowed myself to, you know what? Be healthy for myself. Respect myself in a healthy way. Honor myself. Be kind to myself. If patience don't do it, nothing else will. But patience is the #1 key to success. Respectfully, patience, patience, patience. Having hope and being a genuine, true believer. If you don't have that, you ain't gonna get too far. And getting discouraged, it's not an option. It's not. Respectfully, getting discouraged is not an option. When you a self-believer, getting discouraged is not an option. Because you got too much time on your hands to figure out, you know what? I'm trying to show for myself. I got to be patient with myself. I got to reevaluate myself real quick. I got this. I got this. It wasn't easy what you overcame. It wasn't. Nobody will ever be able to understand this, the walks of life that you're walking right now. But you. Nobody but you. You know, down to being homeless, not having food to eat, misunderstanding, depression days where you didn't even know if you was coming or going, didn't even know you was going through depression, didn't even know you knew how to, you even knew anxiety even existed until you experienced it. You didn't know depression even acknowledged until you experienced it. What an uncomfortable feeling. Feeling hopeless. Feeling unworthy of yourself. You know those feelings? Uncomfortable. And you know what's the most uncomfortable thing too? Being disrespected by folks that you said that you thought was supposed to show up for you while you was down at your most vulnerable time in your life. But you never allowed them to psych you out of your thought process because you was more of a self-believer than anything. Because at the end of the day, what's for you would genuinely be for you with no questions asked. Because you are genuinely loved by all the right people, you are genuinely respected by all the right people, and you deserve to be treated with respect 365 days with no malicious intentions to bring harm towards anyone. Just because someone gave up on you, don't give up on yourself. Just because someone overlooked you, don't give up on yourself. Never allow someone to psych out of your thought process because they're miserable. Never allow someone to psych out of your freedom because they're miserable. Never allow someone to psych out of your thought process because you love yourself, because they're miserable. Loving yourself is not a crime. Respect. Love yourself, love yourself. Love yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's okay to say I love myself today. A lot more than I did yesterday. Be patient with yourself. Now your genuine love. Respect.